Well, it's been quite a minute since I last did a video on the Watu gaming page, and I've realized maybe it's time for me to get back to some action since I'm back. Sometimes I make these intros and when I'm editing, I'm like, what is wrong with me? It's so cringe. I don't know, but I think I'm way past that stage of where listening or hearing yourself is cringe. But anyways, welcome to Watu Gaming News, your weekly breakdown of the biggest and baddest gaming news, I guess. And for our first story of the day, we can see that PlayStation is facing growing concerns around DRM and digital ownership. Now, recent reports suggest that Sony has added a 30-day check-in requirement for newly purchased digital PS4 and PS5 games, which means your console needs to connect to PSN within that period to maintain access. And it actually gets deeper because we've also seen reports showing that if your console does not have recent PSN access, you can lose access to your digital-only games. So even if you bought the game, downloaded the game, and proceeded to install the game locally, access is still tied to Sony's servers. And I don't know about you, but this is some BS from Sony, and I do not support this in any way. And I mean, PlayStation were mocking Xbox One. When Xbox One launched, it had this same thing, and they were mocking them. Now it's them doing the same thing that they were mocking Xbox for. So what's up, Sony? And moving on to our second story of the day, we can see that Valve has provided an update on the Steam Deck 2. And the key takeaway here is simple. The Steam Deck 2 is in development and not coming anytime soon. Valve has stated that they want to wait for a proper generational leap before releasing a new version. And honestly, this approach makes a lot of sense because instead of releasing small upgrades, they are focusing on delivering something more meaningful. But at the same time, there is another issue, and the issue here is availability. Now, Valve has acknowledged that the Steam Deck stock issues are still ongoing in certain regions. So what we are looking at right now is a next-gen device that is still far out and a current device that is still not consistently available, which means for most people, the wait still continues. And our second story is about Resident Evil Requiem, and I'm a big fan of Resident Evil. So we can see that the producer for the newly released Resident Evil Requiem has encouraged players to complete the game ahead of an upcoming DLC. Now, when developers say this, they usually mean that the DLC is mostly tied or rather connected to the main story. So we are looking at content that builds on existing progress, continues the narrative, or expects the player to already understand the story. So if you've been delaying on playing the new Resident Evil 9 Requiem, well, this is probably the time for you to play and finish that game. And in other news, Xbox leadership has confirmed that they are re-evaluating their approach to exclusivity. The focus now seems to be reaching more players, expanding beyond a single platform, and making more flexible decisions when it comes to game releases, which suggests that more Xbox titles could appear on other platforms over time. Now, this doesn't mean that exclusives are disappearing completely, but it does mean that the model is changing, and if that continues, it could reshape how the console ecosystem works. I don't know about you, but hope the new CEO at Xbox knows what they're doing, because Xbox has been on a roll of bad news. So maybe this is some positive news. I don't know. We're gonna have to see. And moving on to story number 5, Denuvo has responded to reports that its hypervisor level DRM protection was cracked on day 0. And this is important because this level of DRM was meant to be their most advanced So seeing it being cracked immediately raises questions. Now, Denuvo has already said that they are working on updating versions, but yeah, this highlights a pattern where we've been seeing DRMs getting stronger and crackers getting, or rather finding a way to crack them, rather go behind them or bypass them. Go behind them. Go behind them. It's as if I'm talking about a person. But anyways, I don't know about you. If you sell the high seas, this is maybe some good news for you. Honestly, I mean, Denuvo hasn't had a good track record when it comes to performance. So maybe it's a win. Maybe it's not a win. I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comment section. And for our final story, we can see that EA's CEO has defended the company's push into AI. Well, this comes after reports from employees suggesting that AI tools have actually reduced productivity in some cases, which is interesting because the expectation was that AI was supposed to make game development faster, so more faster and more efficient. So it's kind of weird that employees are complaining that it's making them slower. So I don't know, but what we're seeing here is a gap in expectation and real-world implementation. And while still, EA believes that AI will play a major role going forward, well, this news shows that adoption is not as straightforward as it sounds for AI in game development. Honestly, I'm sick and tired of AI news, and I hate AI news. Honestly, I don't know. I'm sick and tired of AI news and AI news. What did I want to say? I think I lost my statement in the middle of what I was about to say. But if you enjoyed this episode of Watu Gaming News, be sure to subscribe, like, share it with your fellow friends and your families and all that stuff. And I don't have a proper way of ending this intro. Unfortunately, not all days I'm cool. Today seems to be one of those days. Anyways, I'll catch you in the next episode of Watu Gaming News.